Hey guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and click the subscribe button because I'll be honored to have you here. Today we're going to jump into yet another GTO Trainer session. We're playing on the Simple GTO Trainer and we're playing a PLO spot, 6 max, small blind versus big blind, 100 BB spot on a 3-bet pot. This is actually our last session of this. We're playing 25 hands each and we're only gonna play 100 hands in total, so let's just jump right into this. And on our first hand we've got queens 10-7 double suited on a king 7 ace. And I think this is a spot where we bet. Nope. We should check it 99% of the time. Okay. Small EV loss on the bet, but yeah, the villain folded. Kings 7-6 with 2 hearts on a jack 3 ace. I'm gonna check it. And we're gonna call it, right? We call here with a king high flush. Probably. Yeah, we do 99% of the time. I'm really getting my Omaha on here. We hit a king on the turn, which is nice. But that also brings the straights. Do we lead here? Do we check? I think it's probably a check most of the time. Nope. It's 40% check, 60% bet half pot. But now we checked. We get a half pot bet from the villain. And do we shove it or do we just call? I think we just call, right? Yeah, 99.14% of the time we just call. And now, do we bet at this or do we check? I think we check most of the time, right? 100%, yeah. And we call the bet, the all-in. Yes. Well, we should fold sometimes here, 6% of the time. And call 94%. The villain was just bluffing with a pair of aces and a straight draw. Cool. We got that one. Now we have king, king, jack 4 with a hard draw on a jack 3 ace. And we check it. Villain bets and we call. We hit our flush. And do we bet now or do we check again? I think we should probably do a lot of betting here. 41% of betting half pot, 57% of checking, and roughly 2% of betting full pot. Okay, but the villain folds. Queen 8-7-6 on a queen deuce king. We're on the big blind and we get led into. Do we call this? Do we fold? I think we fold here, right? Yeah, 99.5% of the time. Cool. King jack 10-3 on a 9-7-5 is a check 100% of the time. And do we call here one bet? One half pot bet? I think we still fold here, right? Yeah, 99.93. So it's much closer than I think it is. But we're making good decisions so far, so that's great. Jacks and 7s on an 8-5-3. I guess that's a bet? No, it's not. It's a check 100% of the time. But the villain folds. I guess I do a lot of more betting because I haven't played PLO for a long time and I'm just used to hold them. Queen deuce king with a hard draw, and we've got king 10 6 5. And we check it, and here is actually a good spot to bet. We see the solver betting here 57% and checking 43. We have a top pair. That's pretty much it. And a flush draw, and yeah, now we also hit a straight draw. Now, do we bet at this? I think now we should bet, right? But do we bet 9? Do we bet half pot? Full pot? I think we're gonna bet half pot. But now it's actually a check. EV loss is small for betting, but the solver never does that here. Okay. Queen Jack Jack 9 on an ace 3 deuce. We're checking and falling to a bet. What are we calling? I think we're folding, right? No, we should be calling. 99% of the time. Almost 100. With a flush draw and pair of jacks. And it's actually quite a big EV loss falling here. Minus 3.26. Good to know. Ace 6 3 3 on a 7 6 7. It's gonna be a check. Should actually be a bet a lot of the time, 81% of the time. Check is just 15% of the strategy. The villain bets. I'm gonna call. And we see the solver is raising here a lot. 77% of the time. Okay. King on the turn. I think we check it. But we should rather bet. The solver bets half pot here 96% of the time almost. And now that the villain bets full pot, do we call? I don't think we do on this king. I think we fold 64% of the time, and we shove 35%, which is interesting. I would assume the king falling here. It's not a great card for us, but yeah, he doesn't have that many kings fulls. Ace king 6-3 on an ace 6-5. Villain checks to us. We bet half pot. Solver agrees with that. Solver even bets full pot 24% of the time. King queen 10-8 on a 9-7-5. Is that a board that we bet? I think it is. I'm gonna bet 9, and it is exactly the case. 4 on the turn. And I kind of feel like we have to continue betting here. But we shouldn't. We should rather check. Even though betting is very small EV loss, just 0.018. Still, the solver prefers checking here out of position. We don't have too good of a hand. But yeah, maybe it should rather be check call than betting. Anyway, king queen 10-9 on a 10-6-5. Is that a bet? I think not. I think that's a check mostly. 90% of the time. And bet 11% of the time. Bet half pot. We check it again on the 6. And we call or we fold? Kind of want to call, but I would probably rather fold it. Yeah. We should never call it. We should fold 96%. or raise pot 4%. Ace 10 3-3 on a 10-6-5. I think we're gonna check it. We should be betting 40% of the time. On a jack on the turn, I think we should check it again. And on the king on the river, we're just gonna check it. Should rather bet 9. Yeah. Makes sense. But what can we get him to fold, really? Anyways, yeah, another mistake, unfortunately. But this is why we do it, right? We want to learn. King 3-3 with 2 hearts. And we've got queens with a 5 and a 4. We're going to check it. Now we picked up a little bit of equity, an open-ender. Maybe we should bet. Let's try it. Nope, betting here is bad. We should just be checking. Aces with an 8 and a 4 on an ace 3 deuce. That's gotta be a bet. Or maybe not, because we have a 4. Is that a check? Well, sometimes maybe, but I cannot see myself, checking here. And the solver doesn't really either, 3% of the time. It's mainly bet half pot and bet full pot 31% of the time. Good. Ace, king, king 5, double suited on an 8-4 deuce. Small blind checks to us. I think we should bet it, right? Yeah, we get called. 6 on the turn. I think we're gonna check it. And we should bet half pot 100% of the time. It's interesting that the solver continues betting on a board like this with our hand. I would rather probably prefer checking to keep the pot small. But I guess we're betting here to make better hands fold. Interesting. Ace jack 8-6 on a jack 3 ace. Is that a spot where we lead? Or do we check here? We're gonna bet. Yeah, but we should rather check. 93% of the time. Bet half pot 4. Bet full pot 3% of the time. Aces and 10s on an ace 7-5. Villain checks. Gonna bet 9. And again, it's should be a check. Very rarely should it be a bet. Now there's a 10 on the turn. And the villain bets full pot. I think we're gonna call it. Or are we gonna shove it? I guess we gotta shove it, right? Nope, we should just call it. Looks like. Yeah. Well. Ace queen jack deuce on a 9-7-5. We got the nut flush draw. Villain checks to us. We're gonna bet it. Yeah. I'm doing too much betting. For sure. Especially this session. This particular one. I should rather be checking way more often. King, queen, jack 10 on a 10-6-5. Now we're gonna check. And we're gonna call the bet. I think so. Got that backdoor flush draw. which does not come in. Plus the hero does it almost always. 8 on the turn. Not a great card for us. We're going to check. And there's an ace on the river. And what do we do now? I think we got a bet, right? Can't really win this hand by checking, so I'm gonna bet, but we should rather give up on it, looks like. Which is interesting. Ace 8-5 deuce on a jack 10-3. We're checking. And we are falling to the bet. Yes. King Queen 8-6 on a jack 10-3. Gonna check. And we're gonna call the bet. King on the turn. Means we're gonna check once again. Solver agrees with our line, and there's a 7 of diamonds on the river. I think we're just going to check here. And we see the solver is checking half percent of the time, half percentage, half of the time, and betting half pot, the remainder half. And we lose to a pair of aces. Queen 10-9, 3 on a jack 10-3. I think is a spot where we bet, and even where it's a spot where we bet full pot. Interesting. Okay. And now we hit a king on the turn. And do we bet half pot now, or do we bet full pot? Or maybe do we check? I think we're gonna check here, yeah. And we're gonna call. And there's an 8 on the river. And we're gonna check for the second time. And are we calling the all in here? And he's got a lot of ace queens for sure. But we have a queen, right? I think we have to call this here, right? 100% of the time, yeah. 100% of the time. It's not even close. I'm just calling here always, guys. Queen jack 10-7 on a jack 8-7 is a spot where we bet full pot. No, we don't. We bet half pot here. Or check 25% of the time. Kind of looks similar to the previous one where the bet full pot was the right action. But oh well. Fours and deuces on a jack 3 ace with 2 hearts. Now do we bet this? I think we check behind. Should bet 18% of the time. There's a 10 on the turn. I kind of feel like we call it here, and we do. And now there's an 8 of hearts on the river, and the villain leads for full pot. I think you call this with the flush, right? Yeah, we gotta. We fold just 2.5% of the time. The villains unfortunately got the nuts. But that's it. And we've played the 25 hands. Let's see the results. Minus 37.45 BBs. That's not that bad. I mean, compared to some of our previous sessions, I think we actually did pretty well. We're betting way too often and checking on calling not enough, and also folding more often than we should. We had 2, 3, 4, 5 pretty bad hands, maybe 6 even. But overall, this wasn't that bad of a session, I think. If we close this here, and if we go to sessions, switch this to Omaha and mode regular, we see that over 100 hands, we've only lost 169 big blinds on EV. So not a great score, but yeah, if you take a look at these, we've been making way too many EV errors. Overall, we've made, what, 21, 28, 33 EV errors per 100 hands. That's not a great score. But yeah, it's been a long time since I played PLO. So, and I never actually played PLO on a GTO trainer, any spots. So it's been super nice just practicing it a little bit. So I appreciate that. It's been fun. Next, I'm gonna play maybe the 23 BB small blind versus big blind spot. I think I'm gonna try it. But if you guys have another idea, what would be a better spot perhaps for me to play, let me know in the comments below. Yeah, I think I'm gonna play this one next, but I'd be quite interested to hear your thoughts about what I should play after that, because this is just going to be 4 sessions, 100 hands, so this will be a quick one. But you can download the Simple GTO Trainer and take a look at these free packs that we have here. Maybe you would like me to play one of these, and I'll be happy to. So thank you very much for watching. If you stayed this long, please leave a comment. Just write GTO or ask any question you might have. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.